Khan. All right, Shalom Israel, Shalom Yasha Allah, brother Atazwan, Kavraya Allah, coming back at you with these precepts and yet another code cut, giving the course all and the glory to Yahweh. By Hashem Rashah, I'm like Yahweh Shah, Ataz Dr. Righteous, by doing the Paul Kapanian, by Zaquan Bayata Adawad, double honor to the elders of the house of David. It's been laboring and enduring and pushing his truth to the four corners of the earth in sincerity, righteousness, and pure heart. Right, giving a strong shalom, right, while Yahbashim Yahshua thumb to Almighty Akim on the highways and byways, pushing his truth to the four corners of the earth in sincerity, laboring, making their body a living sacrifice week in, week out, in season, out of season, right, to all the mighty men, all the mighty brothers taking notes, getting built up, making themselves steadfast, building a solid foundation to work their way up, to go out on the highways and byways to labor and support, right, to all you mighty men, right, I say a strong shalom, right, as well to all of the mighty Akwad, right, giving a hearty shalom, right, while Yahbashim Yahshua my thumb, to all the Akwad in his truth, married, unmarried, right, that's reverencing their husbands, raising children decently in order, and the households, right, building up the households and families and the law, statutes, commandments, reading, cooking, sewing, submissive, right, okay, laboring through that many offices in his truth, giving alms, charity, okay, feeding, right, the prophets, right, laboring, making gloves, socks, okay, scarves, and all things to provide for the ministry and working with their hands, right, and following after the steps, right, of the righteous woman, Proverbs 31, right, Titus, the 2nd chapter. I bid you all shalom, and to all the mighty body and the mighty children in this thing, right, a hearty, strong salute, right, while Yahbashim Yahshua Barak Washim our thumb, right, to all the mighty children, honoring that mother and that father, being built up in the law, statutes, commandments, and being a pillar, right, of light, and a ray of hope in his truth, and getting built up. So all Israel bid you shalom, right, come through the spirit, getting into the topic, the lesson of the day, right, is to not fear, right, not to fear, nor to forget the great and wonderful works of the Most High, all right? You know, it's a lot of Israelites, you know, seeing the times that's coming to pass, you know, that's seeing the prophecies, the war, you know, that is feeling a fear upon them. Hey, we're living in great times, and we're living in exciting times, right? Because we're seeing these prophecies unfolding, these wars. Hey, it's showing the end of this kingdom falling and the increase, the rise of our kingdom that's now soon to come, okay? And you're seeing more Israelites waking up at a rampant rate, okay? And you're seeing a lot more, okay, tumults, riots, unsettledness of the people, okay, men invading one another, right, as prophesied in 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, okay, the wars and the rumors of wars, right, proceeding, okay, to the warnings and in the Gospels, right, Matthew 24, Mark 13, okay, also Luke 21 thereof. We're seeing a lot of these prophecies starting to come to pass, right, concurrently and at a rapid rate at the same time, okay? And in this times, we should not be in the spirit of fear, in the spirit of mourning, right, in the spirit of so-called sorrow. This is a time of gladness. This is a time to rejoice. This is a time to be watching, even more than ever. Okay, remember the accounts of our forefathers and the scriptures that were written for our learning. Okay, because the Lord has always sent out his prophets, and of course has always given, for lack of better terms, a sign or a so-called blueprint or so-called leeway, okay, showing that the salvation of Israel was not to come. Okay, you had the plagues, right, that came with unto Egypt. Okay, you had the Lord, how he came down, cut down, right, the Assyrians, the Persians, the Medes, okay, the Greeks, the Romans, and you see a gradual increase, right, or influx in a kingdom rising, and you also see a great decline, whether it's in political structure, right, the so-called army, your so-called military strength and might and wise men, that the flow of your economy or society, okay, beginning to dwindle and cut down, and more and more and more. And the Lord always has these so-called nuggets, right, or these so-called bloops, right, that help you see or perceive that a kingdom is beginning to fall, and you see another power ruler, it starts to wax and to increase in power and strength. Okay, and these are the times that we're living in. Okay, right? You have the so-called America fallen. That was once that great and bright standard, right? To being right the bottom in education. Okay, that their economy is collapsing and crumbling and becoming and falling into stubble and dust. Okay, all so-called or majority the big power nations have so-called stopped trade with them. Okay, and stopped using their currency, and now siding with Russia and China, right, and India, right, and switching to right a new currency, and stopping and threatening to shut off trade. A lot of these nations that were once small, right, proceeding to Joel the third chapter, they are now professing themselves to be mighty. Okay, you're seeing a lot more alliances, and that's how a lot of these so-called hills, right, make themselves mighty. Right, the hills will either join themselves together, right, with other hills, right, to make themselves even more stronger and mighty together. Okay, as they say in the world, there's strength in numbers. Right, there's so-called power when you have more a multitude. Okay, and you're saying, or these hills will join with what? With mountains. Okay, you're seeing how China, right, a month ago came in, right, to take back Taiwan and to take back these provinces that were once theirs. Okay, you're seeing how Russia is coming and trying to take back Ukraine. That was once a part of that old USSR, right, the so-called Soviet Union. Right, so we're seeing a lot of these so-called nations, a lot of these so-called powers, right, moving and forming themselves into the ways of old. Okay, you're seeing Ishmael, right, with all the so-called fighting, right, the so-called wars going on in the so-called Middle East, and you're seeing a lot of these nations reverting back, right, to their ancient ways, right, their ancient customs. Right, Ishmael being a wild man. Okay, you seeing right these hills starting to raise up in power. Okay, and it's all a sign of our near salvation. Okay, so let's get right into it, into the book of Ezekiel. Okay, okay, it's the book of Ezekiel. Chapter 38, and I'm gonna start at verse 7. It reads, it says, "Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are consumed, that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them." Right, so and we know, right, the prophecy, right, Gog and Magog, right, so-called Russia, Germany, right, these so-called nations started to come right back into right a assembly of power. Okay, where we're seeing right these men right are starting to move back into their old ways. Right, and it says what? It says, "And all it." It says, "Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. After many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword." Okay, and we're seeing right how so-called Russia is so-called making itself, right, or prepping itself to be that so-called top power, right, to be that so-called right that power that's going to take down Babylon. Okay, that's going to destroy right all the nations, right, that's confederate with the great horde. Okay. But what? Right? Read that again. It says, after many days, thou shalt be visited. Right? Because, right, all these are so-called, right, Edomites, right, they're all the same people, right, just called by a different name, right, and in lands, right, that's not theirs, right. You got Edomites, right, trying to take down, right, and get into, right, the land of Ham, right, setting up apartheid. Okay, you got Edom right now, all over in the land of Japheth, right, Tubal, right, Tarshish, so-called Spain, okay, and Javan, so-called Italy and Kittim, right, and all these so-called modern names, Gog, Magog, right, these are all land of the Japhethites, okay, but now, right, or geographically, right, proceeded to the scriptures, right, we know, right, that these current land masses, right, so-called Russia, these powers, okay, are going to take down Babylon in these last days, okay, and then after many days, the Lord is going to visit them, and then what, and utterly take down, okay, the rest of these nations. Reading on, it reads, in the latter days thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people, against the mountains of Israel, which have always been waste, but it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell and they shall dwell safely, all of them. Right, so the Lord, he still is going to have us to dwell safely. Through all the World War III, right, prophesied that are still coming to pass, right, that we seeing gearing up at this very moment. Okay, that Babylon ascending, so-called, right, the biggest naval ships, right, prepping to set their armies and to get them ready to engage. Okay, ascend, right, the so-called Satan 1, Satan 2, right, the so-called the Moab, right, the mother of all bombs. Okay, and all these hypersonic, okay, missiles and projectiles that these nations have set up. Okay, so-called India, so-called Pakistan, okay, so-called Russia, right? All of these nations have what? They have these so-called missiles, right? These great stars, okay, that as they're called in Second Ezra, right? A so-called flying swords, okay, that's prepped and armed and ready to bomb and ready to take down and conquer and wipe out, complete annihilation, destroy all of their said enemies. Okay, all right, reading on. It reads, thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou and all thy bands and many people with thee. Right, so the Lord said what? He said, thou shalt ascend. Right, the Lord, right, through his mighty right hand is going to protect you, right, and set, right, all of your adversaries nigh away, right, and set hedges and protect you, right, through borders, and have us to ascend and to be lifted up through what? Via the chariots of the Lord. Okay, let's get a precept on that. All right, let's go to Second Ezra. Right, Second Ezra, the 13th chapter. Okay, because these wars are nigh at hand, right? But a proceeding to what? To Isaiah 26 and 20. The Lord said to what? To come up into that secret chambers, right? That hiding chambers. Okay, Second Ezra, chapter 13 and verse number 3. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. Okay, right. So in the midst of war, right, the midst of bombing, right, the Lord he's going to make his as some would say, his grand appearance, right? His grand arrival, right? In the midst of destruction, right? So-called fighter jets, right? And they make movies about this thing, right? Independence Day, right? The so-called, right? These day after tomorrows, right? The and all these so-called fighter movies, so-called alien invasions. A lot of these are prophecies, right, or revelations of the Lord coming back, right? You got so-called men that's coming, that are so-called creatures, that's going to one day they come out the sky, right? They're not going to say anything, right? And man is going to be looking like, what the hell is going on, right? So-called bombs and lasers, right? And these so-called impossible feats that somehow Esau always, he always so-called comes up with this master plan, okay, had this so-called technology, right, that no man can figure out how to counter, how to comprehend it, okay, but somehow Esau at the last minute, right, always kind of figures this thing out, right, and then gets the victory. But no, when the Lord comes back with this great power, right, with this great might, okay, with his and waxing with the thousands upon thousands of heaven, right, there's not going to be no so-called victory, right? There's not going to be no great scheme, right? No great master plan or great overthrow of the Lord, man, right? And you already seen in the Middle East, right? They get videos, right? You got a whole so-called army, right? A whole so-called military base trying to shoot down one chariot, man. One chariot, right? And that one chariot is kind of moving, right? It's kind of weaving, right? It kind of went forward, stopped on a dime, right? Stopped on a dime, went back, dropped, right? Dropped, looped, right? Looped, went around in a circle, went back up. Hey, it was playing with him, man. Hey, if so-called one chariot, right? One chariot, right, could damn jam up a whole base. Okay, and they sent them, they sent their whole fleet out. Okay, that their whole all their best pilots, right, that their best jets and planes, right, and helicopters to kind of go and hunt this thing down. Right, and the chariot, it kind of just took off, man, and left them. Right, and they had no idea where this thing went. Right, it kind of just let them kind of get close, and then boom, took off. Hey, if that's the power of one chariot, hey, how much more the power and might that the Lord is coming back with? Okay, and we know, right, that we have things, right, so-called terrestrial, right, carnal things, right, through the mind of man, right? How much more, right, the spiritual things, right, the higher, right, technology or higher things are created above our understanding that the Lord has inside of the third heaven. Okay, so reading again, 2nd Ezra chapter 13 and verse 3. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven, right? Talking about Yahushua. And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen unto him, right? It reads, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they that heard his voice, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it filleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. Right? Because the Lord, he's going to come up from what? Right? From the heavens. Right? It tells you that in Revelation, the first chapter. Right? How the Lord, he's going to come back with clouds. Right? The clouds, meaning what? The chariots. Okay, the so-called UFOs, or called the flying rolls, right? Or the flying wheels, right? Or coming up or coming back upon the horses. Hey, all these are names or code words for the chariots of the Lord, right? And how the Lord, he's coming back, right, with his strength and with his might, right? And waxing with the thousands of heaven. And all these men, right, rather in the midst of war, okay, the midst of destruction, right, the midst of a so-called plotting, right, to kill the saints, okay, and to make them to join their armies, right, and to commit all acts of evil and lewdness. And all these men, in the midst of their wars, in the midst of their conflicts with each other, they're going to turn in great fear, right, and turn to try to subdue the Lord, man. Okay, that's going to come back in this great power and might and authority, right? And it reads on, right, verse 6. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this, I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. Right, so these men, right, they're going to be afraid, right, of the Lord, right, him coming back in his great power, a shriveling, a trembling, but what? But they're still going to still durst fight, right? That they're still, right, going to pick up their swords, right? Pick up their prong hooks, right? Pick up their so-called bucklers, right? And still, right, turn themselves and try to fight against the Lord. I read it on. Verse 9, it reads, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came up, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid, man. Right, so hey, that's a great nuclear fire, man. Okay, right, that the fire and brimstone, right, that the flames and fire from the chariots that the Lord is coming back with. Okay, then the Lord say in Matthew, right, or Slakia, right, that he cometh with a sword, and if the fire already be on earth, right, who is he to put it out? Roughly paraphrasing. Let's get there real fast. Okay. Okay. Let's go to the book of St. Matthew. St. Matthew, chapter 10. And I'm going to start at verse. Actually, Slakia. Let me get it in Luke real fast. All right, let me get that in Luke. Slakia. All right, let me get that in Luke real fast. All right. All right, this is the book of St. Luke, chapter 12, and verse number 49. It reads, I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will I, if it be already kindled? Right, so the Lord is coming to set a fire, man. Right, and the Lord said, hey, what am I if it already be kindled? Right, or because there's already war brewed up, huh? right? It's going to be even an increase, right, of destruction, right, and soot and ash, right, and bombs upon the earth as is, right? The Lord said what? He says, I am come to send fire on earth, and what will I if it be already kindled? Right? It's like it's like you so-called, started a fire, right? A so-called, cooking fire, right? And it's like saying, well, what would I be if I didn't add more wood to the fire that's already burned, right? What would I be to not add more a damn tumbleweed, right? To get a so-called increase, right? What man would I be not to add that Vaseline, right? That so-called propane or fuel, right? To keep the fire going, right? The fire is already going to be kindled, right? Through the residue of destruction, right? Through these wars as is, right? And the Lord, he's coming what? Right? To send and even everlasting fire, right? To consume and destroy all the adversaries. And the Lord is also coming with what? A sword, right? Matthew 10:34, it reads, it says, think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I am come not to send peace, but a sword, right? So the Lord is coming back with the sword, right? With fire, right? With vengeance, right? With destruction. Okay, proceeding to Isaiah 66, right? 15 on down, right? The Lord, he's going to kill men and burn them, man, right? For eating swine, right? Let's get that as well. Let's get that in Isaiah. Okay, the Lord is coming back with fire, sword, and vengeance for his adversaries. And he's also coming, right, with peace, with safety, right, and for his chosen, his elect, to ascend, to be beamed up, right, to be hidden in the secret places, right, as the Lord said, right, in the book of Matthew, right, the 13th chapter, right, through the parable of the wheat and the tares, right? The Lord, he's going to have the reapers, the angels, right, to hide and to gather, right, his wheat into the barns, right? The barns is also symbolic, right, for the chariots, right? Because it's made and set up to protect you, right? To have you, right, housed and secured and protected around all borders. Okay. And right, to gather up and to burn all the tares. Okay. Right. The, men that crept in unaware, right, that these other nations as well. All of these are going to be burnt up and destroyed. Okay. Isaiah chapter 66. And I'm going to start at verse number 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. Okay, the Lord said the slain of the Lord shall be many, not few. The Lord, he's going to come back, and he's going to come back with like so-called white Jesus and kumbaya and love you, and give you a hug. The Lord is coming back with fire and fury and a sword. Okay. That's why the Lord said in 2 Ezra 13, right, again, right, it said that what? It said that there was nothing left, right, but dust and smell of smoke. Right, because the Lord is coming back, right, with great fury and vengeance, and all of those that when that served them, right, proceeding to Luke 19:27, the Lord said, "Bring them hither and slay them before me." Okay, let's go to the book of 1 Chronicles. Okay, it's the book of 1 Chronicles. Chapter 16, select. 1 Chronicles, chapter 16, and I'm going to start at verse I'm going to start at verse 11. Verse 10. Right? Glory ye in his holy name. Let the heart of them rejoice that seek the Lord. Seek the Lord and his strength. Seek his face continually. All right, and this is a time, right, that brothers should be moving in, right? Because this fire is coming. This said the destruction, right? The brimstone, the sword, okay, right? The a death and mourning, right? A weeping and gnashing of teeth. These days are coming. All right, so now even more, we should be seeking the Lord and seeking the strength, right? Even more abundantly. Okay. Verse 12, it says what? It says, remember his marvelous works that he have done, his wonders and the judgments of his mouth. Right. So we got to remember the wonderful works, right? The marvelous works that the Lord has made. Remember these events. Remember how the Lord took down Egypt. Remember how the Lord came and smitten Babylon in time of old. Right? Remember how the Lord weakened and took down the Grecians, okay, the Greeks. And remember how the Lord, right, shut down the Romans and shut them up for 1,000 years. Okay, remember all these great and marvelous things. Remember the marvelous thing that the Lord gave you the understanding in your mind, that you are an Israelite, and brought you back to life, and gave you a quickening spirit. Right, a lot of us were dead. Most of us, right, watching this video right now, you were dead, man. Not physically, but spiritually. Okay, you were in Christianity, in Islam, in Buddhism, Hinduism, and so-called chakras, right? With damn witches, warlocks, dealing with so-called crystals and astrologies and spells, right? And so-called Pan-Africanism. A lot of us were dead, man. But the Lord, through the instant hearing of his word, were instantly quickened and made alive. That's a marvelous work. Okay. Even perceiving that a lot of our people, right, because the Lord said what? 2/3 of our people shall be cut off and die. It's a marvelous thing, right, that you were even able to hear the word and to receive. So these are the marvelous works. Okay, I'm gonna jump down to verse, right, to verse 23. It says, sing unto the Lord, all the earth, shew forth from day to day his salvation, declare his glory among the heathen, his marvelous works among all nations. Okay, and a lot of these nations are going to see, right, our strange salvation. These things, right, are to be proclaimed, right, amongst them. Okay, let's get that in Psalms. Let's get that in Psalms. All right, Psalm chapter 98 and verse number 1. It reads, "O sing unto the Lord a new song, for he hath done marvelous things. His right hand and his holy arm hath gotten him the victory." All right, see that, man? And Lord willing, man, we're all going to be singing a new song, right? Very soon, right? Singing, right, and professing, right, how the Lord took down this place, right? Seeing how the Lord, right, built this place up, right, and brought us out of the land, right? That is not our rest, proceeding to Micah, right, 2:10, right? This land of darkness, right, proceeded to Job 10 and 22, and showed us his marvelous light to bring us out, okay, right, to raise us up and to bring us out, Shalaki, of the pit, right, to bring us out the dunghill, right? To clean us up and to bid us unto the marriage, right? And have a memorial of how the Lord overthrew Babylon the Great in these last days, man. Right? Mystery Babylon, man. Lord willing, we all shall be singing, right? This new song of the Lord. Okay, it says, "Oh, sing unto the Lord a new song, for he hath done marvelous things. His right hand and his holy arm hath gotten him the victory. The Lord hath made known his salvation. His righteousness hath he openly shewed in the sight of the heathen. He hath remembered his mercy and his truth toward the house of Israel. All the ends of the earth have seen the salvation of our God," right? Right, and all nations are going to see the great salvation of the Lord, man. Right, all nations, right, are your so-called bosses, right, your so-called landlord, right, your so-called teachers. You know, Jake always got a so-called teacher, you know, that said that they was never going to be nothing. Okay, your so-called co-worker, man, that you know, that thought you was nothing but, you know, just a, you know, nigga, man. Okay, and all these nations who reputed us as nothing, but the Lord said that they are nothing, right? And they're going to feel it. And once they see our great salvation, right? Assyrians being translated, right? Right, seeing that man that was poor, that was homeless, okay, that was trodden down underfoot, being oppressed, right, working damn 7-8 jobs just to make ends meet, okay, being robbed, smitten, right, and overthrown. The Lord, he's going to have us, right, to now to be lords and rulers over these men. Right, let's get that in Isaiah. Okay. All right, it's the book of Isaiah, chapter 29. And I'm going to start at verse 14. It reads, "Therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work among this people, even a marvelous work and a wonder, for the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of their prudent men shall be hid." Okay, right. I'm going to read that again. It reads, "Therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work among this people, even a marvelous work and a wonder, for the wisdom of their wise men shall perish." Right, and we're already seeing, right, these so-called top scientists, right, these so-called top wise men and so-called top doctors. Their so-called wisdom is already being diminished. Okay, right, all the so-called secrets are being exposed. Right, the so-called Rothschilds, right, they just sold all their fortunes, right, inside of a so-called secret auction. Right, a secret council, right, where nobody knows, right, where this money is going, okay, how these things are being funded, right, what's going on, right, nobody can know, right, it's so-called top secret. But these men, right, are starting to show, right, a dimension of themselves, okay, these so-called men, right, who came up, right, with the, you know, for lack of better words, you know, who came up with the wasp thing, huh? Right now, and are coming out and saying that well, you know, certain mistakes were made, right? And you could die or have serious health complications within 3 years of taking the poison jab. Okay, and again, right, that there's so-called nothing you can do to so-called sue, right, to so-called get any compensation for these said things, man. All right, right. So we're seeing, right, that so-called these so-called wise men are finished, right? These so-called top men, right? The which are supposed to be the top scholars, right? The top so-called physicians, right? The so-called top damn medicine of the world here, man. And all of these things are found out to be lies, right? And to be faulty, okay? And not incredible, right? It reads, for the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of their prudent men shall be hid, okay? And again, right, this placement is failing in damn education, right? That the kids are so-called, they only go to school for damn 3 days a week now, right? The so-called teachers and professors, right, I become slothful, right? They don't want it to work or do their jobs anymore, right? And becoming them lazy, man, right? So even your so-called wise and prudent men, right, are beginning to be damn obsolete, right, and crumble, okay? Right, verse 15, it reads, woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us, and who knoweth us, surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him, of him that made him, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding, right? And all of these things are of the Lord, man, right? Who darkeneth the countenance, right, and counsel of the wicked. Okay, reading on. It reads verse 17, is it not yet a very little while, and Lebanon shall be turned into a fruitful field, and the fruitful field shall be esteemed as a forest, and in that day shall the deaf hear the words of the book, and the eyes of the blind shall see obscurity and out of darkness, right? And these are the days that we have been living in, right? And now our people that were once blind, a smitten, right? That walketh in darkness and confusion. Okay, proceeding to right Deuteronomy 28 and 28 on down. Right, now, right, the Lord has opened up the ears of the deaf, right, and opened up the eyes of the blind, that we may see, right, before, right, that the great destruction and tribulation comes nigh upon us, right, that we may see the marvelous works, man, of the Lord. Okay, let me get that in Ezekiel, right, Ezekiel chapter 20. Okay, and verse, and I'm going to start at verse number 32, and it reads, and that which cometh into your mind shall not be at all, and that ye say, we will be slacked. Verse number 33, it reads, as I live, saith the Lord, actually, Shalaki. I'm going to start at verse 30. Wherefore say unto the house of Israel, thus saith the Lord God, are ye polluted after the manner of your fathers, and commit ye whoredom after their abominations? For when ye offer your gifts, when ye make your sons to pass through the fire, ye pollute yourselves with all your idols, even unto this day. And I shall be inquired of by you, O house of Israel, as I live, saith the Lord God, I will not be inquired of by you, and that which cometh into your mind shall not be at all, that ye say, we will be as the heathen, as the families of the countries, to serve wood and stone. Okay, right. So hey, these heathen men that call upon, right, damn wood, damn stone, right, that are so-called Christianity, right, damn so-called Islam, okay, which is all Catholicism, right? The word or Catholic going back to universal, right? That all so-called men can make it, right? All these so-called universal doctrines, right, which leads all back to idolatry, are all going to be consumed together, right, and burned down, right, with fire and consumed, right? But as for the elect, right, verse 33, and as I live, said the Lord God, surely with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out, I will rule over you and will bring you out from the people and will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered with a mighty arm and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out. Right, so even in the midst of battle, in the midst of wars and destructions, right, through our people, repenting, right, the Lord opening your eyes, right, opening your minds, your hearts, right, circumcising, right, your hearts, right, that were once uncircumcised, right, and smitten, right, through the blindness of this dark land, okay, right, through the putting away of the pollution of idols, right, putting away, right, of all our so-called false doctrines, right, the ways of this world. And the Lord, he's going to what? He's going to save us, right, and gather us, right, with his stretched out arm, okay, right, through the midst of wars and troubles and tribulations, right, proceeding to, or it's like Job, the 6th chapter, right, through the Lord save us, right, through 6 troubles, yea, and 7, no harm shall come upon us. The Lord, he said what? That he's going to gather you, with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out, right, indignation, right, on those that touch and harm the apple of the Most High's arm, eye. Okay, it reads, and I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face, like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you. So will I plead with you, saith the Lord God, and I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant, and I will purge out from among you the rebels, and them that transgress against me. I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourned, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel, and ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh. Right, so as the Lord, right, is purifying us, right, taking us through, right, the second wilderness, these things are going to be going on, still, right, also, right, during the midst of war, right, during the midst of these battles as well, right, during the midst of Jacob's trouble, right, after, you know, these things come to pass, right, the so-called concentration camps, guillotines, right, slaughters, right, and whatsoever many wicked, dark, freaky inventions that this damn devil has, man. Okay, I'm gonna jump down to verse 40, right, and it reads I'm gonna jump down to verse 43, and it reads, it says, and there shall ye remember your ways and all your doings wherein ye have been defiled, and ye shall loathe yourselves in your own sight for all your evils that ye have committed, and ye shall know that I am the Lord, when I have wrought with you for my name's sake, not according to your wicked ways, nor according to your corrupt doings, O ye house of Israel, saith the Lord God. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face toward the south, and drop thy word toward the south, and prophesy against the forest of the south field, and say to the forest, of the south, hear the word of the Lord. So hear the word of the Lord, saith the Lord Yahweh. Behold, I will kindle a fire in thee, and it shall devour every green tree in thee, and every dry tree. The flaming fire shall not be quenched, and all faces from the south to north shall be burned therein, and all flesh shall see that I, the Lord, have kindled it. It shall not be quenched, man. Right? So the Lord said, through the elect, right, through the righteous being gathered, right, being purged, being tried, being made perfect, being made holy. The Lord said, drop that word, man, right, against these nations, right, against us, right, because the Lord said what, that He's going to kindle a fire, right, slugging that shall not be quenched, right, and is going to consume and devour every green tree, man. Right, and we understand that trees are what? Are men. Okay, let's prove that. Let's go to the book of 1 Peter. Okay, let's go to the book of 1 Peter, chapter 1 and verse number 23. Being born again, not of corruptible seed, but of incorruptible by the word of God, which liveth and abideth forever. For all flesh is as grass, and all the glory of man as the flower of grass. The grass withereth, and the flower thereof falleth away, but the word of the Lord endureth forever. And this is the word which by the gospel is preached unto you, man. Right. So the Lord said that all flesh, right, is as grass, man. Right, because proceeding to how, right, men, right, coming back in their generations. Right, you may have a flower, right, in the so-called spring season. It's so-called blooming, right. At the summertime, it's fully bloomed, right. It's at its so-called fullest state. Okay, it's full of heat. All right, even certain trees, man. The so-called cherry blossoms, right, in DC, they only come in during the springtime. Okay, right, and they're fully, right. You smell the sweet aromas during the summertime, right. The beautiful heat thereof. Okay, and then, right, during that so-called fall, and now they begin to start to close up, right? Now they start to wither, and by what? And by the winter time, what they all so-called begin to die, man, right? Fall off, right? Frozen, and those trees are bare. And then what? And then back in that springtime, these things start to come up and start to populate again, right? Let's prove that. Let's get that in the book of Sirach. Sirach, chapter 14, and verse number 17. All flesh waxeth old as a garment, for the covenant from the beginning is death. Thou shalt die to death, as of the green leaves on a thick tree. Some fall and some grow. So is a generation of flesh and blood. One cometh to an end, and another is born. Right, see that? Right, come, right, slug. Right, see that? Right, so as men, right, you're so-called born in this world, right, as a newborn babe, right, and even as the moon, man, right, a man is likened unto a flower, right, a man is likened unto the moon, right, because man is born, right, out of darkness, right, and then wax into, right, his so-called strength, right, his so-called peak, right, your so-called, your so-called prime years, the so-called height of your age, and then what? And then you start to wane down, right, your so-called, you know, back starts to hurt, your damn bones hurt, your damn knee aches, right? Your elbow, right? Your neck, okay? Right? Your so-called eyes hurt. You can't read as much, or too far. It's too much strain, right? Certain activities that you used to do, now it takes too much energy, right? Just you know, going up and down the steps. The same way, right? The so-called all things move in the cycles, right? From the grass, right? It's so-called, right? It rises up, it withers. That's the same way, man. It moves inside of a cycle. And the Lord said, what? I'm gonna read that again in verse 28 of Ezekiel. It's like 48. Ezekiel 20 and 48. It reads, and all flesh shall see that I, the Lord, have kindled it, and it shall not be quenched, man. Right? Because when the Lord comes back with that fire, right, and that destruction, it's no man that can gainsay that, right, or that can stop, right, the archer's bow, right? There's no man that can stop the Lord, right, from bringing forth fire, right? When the Lord said, right, that the fire is already going to be kindled, right? Proceeding to Luke 12 and 49. Okay, so let's go to the book of Joel. Right, going to get a few more close out through the Spirit. Slaki. Let's go to the book of Joel, chapter 2 and verse 7. Okay. It reads, they shall run like mighty men, they shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march every one on his ranks, and they shall not break their ranks, neither shall one thrust another, they shall walk every one in his paths, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. They shall run to and fro in the city, they shall run upon the wall, they shall climb upon the houses, they shall enter in at the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, the sun and moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw. Shall withdraw their shining, right? Right, Con. Right, so the Lord said what? Actually, Slaki, I'm gonna start at verse. I'm gonna start at verse number 3. Right, Joel 2 and 3. It reads, a fire devours before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is like the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness, and nothing shall escape them, right? So after the Lord gather us, right, brings it into, right, that the bond of the covenant inside of the wilderness, right, that the Lord said that the earth shall be as the garden of Eden, right, and behind them a desolate wilderness, right? So after the Lord gives us the decree, right, the spiritual powers thereof, right, through, right, after after keeping the faith, right, the law, statutes, commandments, right, and through having the everlasting mercies, right, it's going to be like a so-called the Kentucky Derbies, right, when the so-called horses, right, run by, right, boom, everything is kind of smooth, right, and then you see a whole bunch of dust kick up, right, the so-called Indy 500, right, getting left in the so-called dust and smoke, right. It's going to be complete, right, annihilation, right, and desolation and fire and destruction, right, coming not behind us. It reads, the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoured the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Right, so we're going to have order, a structure, and no man is going to break ranks. Right, no man is going to be that thrust through. Okay, right. Hey, none of us are going to die. Proceeding to 1 Corinthians 15 and 51 on that. Right, that we shall be all changed. Right, proceeding to 58. Oh death, right, oh death, right. Where is thy sting? Okay, let me get that real fast. Quick precept. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse number 55. Right, actually, I'm starting at verse 54. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, and then shall he be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? Right, so the grave, the death, right, all the manners, right, through, right, the contract of sin, so-called, right, these things are not going to have power over us. It reads, the sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. But thanks be to the Most High, which giveth us the victory through our Lord Yahushua Mashiach. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord, right? Right, so our labor is not going to be in vain, right? Right, the work that you put in, right, the fasting, the praying, okay, right, the charity, the alms, man, right, the work, catching hell, hey, all of these things are not in vain, okay, right, especially when the Lord, right, he's going to set you up, man, right, to give you, right, incredible bodies, man, right, spiritual bodies, man, right, the Lord is going to have us in order, man, and the Lord is going to have us, right, set up as mighty men to conquer, to hunt down, and take down these nations. Right? Reading on. Joel 2 and 6. It reads, before their face, the people shall be much pained. All their faces shall gather blackness, man. Right? Because all these nations, right, are going to be astonished. Right? Going to be in great fear. Right? They're going to see, right, right, that a so-called a no harm, right, or no so-called principality, right, or any of their imaginations could do any hurt unto us, man. Okay, right, like you saw the movie, I believe it's a so-called the fourth dimension or fourth wonder, right? It was something with the so-called owl on it, man. Right, and all these men, right, in Alaska, right, were getting kidnapped, right, and abducted and jammed up, right. They on one scene, it was towards the end, they had all the so-called, right, spirits surrounding this bed, man. All right, and there was nothing that this woman could do. Right, she had so-called recorded so-called cameras set up, right, having so-called interactions, right, and it was getting jammed up, right. There was no so-called harm or so-called hurt that could be done unto these men, right. How much more, right, us, man, right, when the Lord sets us, right, up in order, right, and sets us up, right, for that day of battle to come. Right, let's go to Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 51. chapter 51 and verse number 19. It reads, the portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name. Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms, and with thee will I break in pieces the horse and his rider, and with thee I will break in pieces the chariot and his rider. With thee also I will break in pieces man and woman, and with thee will I break in pieces old and young, and with thee will I break in pieces the young man and the maid. I will also break in pieces with thee the shepherd and his flock, and with thee I will break in pieces the husbandman and his yoke of oxen, and with thee I will break in pieces captains and rulers, and I will render unto Babylon and all the inhabitants of Chaldea all their evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, saith the Lord. Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, saith the Lord, which destroys all the earth, and I will stretch out my hand, and I will stretch out my hand upon thee and roll thee down from the rocks, and I will make thee a burnt mountain, man. Right? Check that out, man. Right. So the Lord, man, he's going to use you, man. Right, to destroy this kingdom, man. Right, to break down, right, the wicked, right, your wicked Carol Bryant's, man. Right, that was responsible, right, for the murder of Emmett Till. Right, all these so-called Karens, man. Okay, right, all your so-called Bob and Bills, man. Okay, and all your so-called your so-called top small hats, man. Okay, but all the men, all the powers, the princes, the kings, the rulers of this so-called society, governments, and world, man. Right, the Lord is going to use you, man. Right, to break down these kingdoms, man. Right, to break down these powers, right, these so-called structures, these so-called wicked thrones set up in these last days, man. Right, and to what? And to make this place an everlasting burnt mountain, right? Or you keep hearing how the Lord, how he's going to come and destroy this place with fire, man, and to burn it, right? Right, and to have this place overthrown and brought down into stubble, into dust, and ash, man, right? But the Lord, right, he's going to use you. He's going to save you, man, right? And, right, protect you. Right, if you keep the faith, if you endure unto the end, if you keep his laws, statutes, commandments, if you truly believe in his son, right, and have the patience and faith, man, and continue to endure. All right, about two more. Job. Job. All right, it's Job chapter 38, and I'm gonna start at verse 22. It reads, "Hast thou entered into the treasures of snow, or hast thou seen the treasures of hell, of the hell, which I have reserved against the time of trouble, against the day of battle and war," man. Right, God. Right, so again, understand that we're moving into a time of battle and war, man. Right, understand, right, the spirit, right, how the Most High is coming. All right, I'm gonna read that again. All right, Job chapter 38 and verse number 23. Right, actually, Slocky. I'm gonna start at verse. Right, this whole chapter is fire. Right, Job chapter 38 and verse. at verse 17. Have the gates of death been opened unto thee? Or hast thou seen the doors of the shadow of death? Hast thou perceived the breadth of the earth? Declare if thou knowest it all. Where is the way where light dwelleth? And as for darkness, where is the place thereof, that thou shouldest take it to the bound thereof, and that thou shouldest know the parts to the house thereof? Knowest thou it because thou was then born, or because the number of thy days is great? Hast thou entered into the treasure of the snow, or hast thou seen the treasures of the hell, which I have reserved against the time of trouble, against the day of battle and war, man. Right, so man, right, and of course, right, this is a rebuke against Job, man. Right, but man hasn't seen, right, the gates of hell, man. Right, a man doesn't know the in-depth, right, secrets and wisdom, right, of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. Right, and man doesn't know, right, the secrets, right, that the Most High has reserved for the day of battle and war, man. So we're living in the days of battle and war, right? Coming up upon the earth, right? And needed to be girded thereof. Okay, let me get that in Psalms, right? Quick precept in Psalms. Psalm chapter 90 and verse number 3. It reads, "Thou turnest man to destruction, and sayest, return ye, O children of men." Right, so the Lord, he turns man into destruction. Okay, the Lord, he can raise man up, and the Lord can also, right, cut man down. Okay, look at Pharaoh, right, the so-called king of Egypt. Okay, how the Lord during the time of Joseph smitten him with a famine. Okay, how the Lord during the time of Moses, okay, smitten Egypt with plagues, man, right, with the 10 plagues. Okay, how the Lord, right, cut down, right, the so-called assembly of the Assyrians and had them trodden down underfoot. Okay, how the Lord cut down, right, Nebuchadnezzar in Babylon, right, and had him, right, to live as a beast of the field, right, for 7 years. Okay, hey, look at the great works of the Lord, man, right, and look, right, at the prophecy of the great deliverance thereof, man, right, how the Lord is showing how he's going to deliver us out of the land of the north, man. Okay, right, and to cut down, right, these so-called nations, man, right, and to rise us up, and how he's going to use us, man. Okay, let me get that in Jeremiah. Slot, quick precept. All right, Jeremiah. Now this is Jeremiah chapter 21 and verse number 4. And it reads, "Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, behold, I would turn back the weapons of war that are in your hands, wherewith ye fight against the king of Babylon and against the Chaldeans, which besiege you without walls. And I will assemble them in the midst of the city," man. Right? And in the same way how we were besieged, man, the same way how we were smitten, man. And the Lord is now turning back the weapons of these kings, man. Right? The so-called great top weaponry and arsenals, right, that the so-called a nation had. right? Now, their borders are being invaded, man. Right now, your so-called top security, right? Your so-called espionage units, man. Right? Now, your so-called spies are now the ones that's been taken captive, taken hold, man. And all the plagues that were once upon us, the Lord is now putting it upon our enemies. All right, let me get that in Deuteronomy. All right, Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse number 7. It reads, "And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee," man. And of course, these nations, they persecute us, man. They smite us, man. Right? They beat us, they rob us, man. They rob, right? Rape, extort us, man. And now these curses, right, are now being reversed and putting upon these nations, man. That the Lord is coming back to conquer, right, and to overthrow and to utterly destroy, man. Right? But the Lord said that what, man? That his servant shall eat. Right? Right, that's Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 65. All right, Isaiah chapter 65. And I'm going to start at verse. Number 8. And it reads, "Thus saith the Lord, as the new wine is found in a cluster, and one saith, destroy it not, for a blessing is in it, so will I do for my servant's sake, that I may not destroy them all, but I will bring forth a seed out of Jacob and out of Judah, and an inheritor of my mountains, and mine elect shall inherit it, and my servant shall dwell there, and Sharon shall be a fold for flocks, shall be a fold of flocks, and the valley of Achor a place for the herds to lie down in, for my people that have sought me. But ye are they that forsake the Lord, that forget my holy mountain, that prepare a table for that troop, and that furnish the drink offering unto that number. Therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter, because when I called, ye did not answer. When I spake, I did not hear, but did evil before mine eye, and did not choose that wherein I delighted not. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit, and ye shall leave your name for a curse unto my chosen. For the Lord God shall slay thee, and call his servants by another name, that he who blesseth himself in the earth shall bless himself in the God of truth, and he that sweareth in the earth shall swear by the God of truth, because the former troubles are forgotten, and because they are hid from mine eyes, man. Right, come on, man. Right, and this is and this is a spirit and mindset, right, that we want to carry on in these last days, man. Right, you don't want to be right that man, right, that woman, right, that turns your back on the Lord, man. Right, that's crying out, right, that's you know in the so-called FEMA camp, right, concentration camp, right, all hell breaking loose, right, you know, shoulda, coulda, woulda, man. Right now we living in that time, man, right, to magnify your works as much as possible, right, to go harder, right, this day forward, man, as much as possible, man, and to do right, to do more works abundantly, right, and increasingly, man, as much as possible, man. right? Because the Lord said that his servants shall eat and drink, man, right, and shall have joy, right? But those who reject the Lord, man, right, who rebel against his word, man, hey, those men are going to be weeping, right, and gnashing of teeth, man, right, and saying and professing to the Lord, right, that I've cast out many devils in thy name, right, and the Lord is going to tell you, it to depart from me, you worker of iniquity. I never knew you, man, right, and then thrust you through. Okay. Oh, okay. Right. So again, man, right, definitely, is not a time to, to be in mourning, man, right, to start packing out your so-called bug out bag, okay, getting so-called ready, man, right, because Slocky, one more, man, because you never know where you're going to be. Hey, all hell could break loose right now, and you're at a unity camp, right? Our brother was talking about this at a groundbreaking, man, right? What if a damn all hell broke loose right now, and we damn halfway across Babylon, man, and all hell just broke loose right now, right? What you gonna do, man? And you have no time to drive, right? To drive or fly down, fly down 5 hours, man, back home, right? To drive down 20 hours right home, man. Okay, right? To then take the next damn bullet train. Okay, hey, if all hell broke loose right now, man, hey, you gotta have that faith, that resiliency, it already built up through the Spirit. Okay, this is the book of St. Luke, chapter 12 and verse number 22. It reads, and he said unto his disciples, therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, neither for the body, what ye shall put on. The life is more than meat, and the body is more than raiment. Consider the ravens, for they neither sow nor reap, which neither have storehouse nor barn, and the Most High feedeth them. How much more are ye better than the fowls? And which of you, with taking doubt, and which of you, with taking thought, can add to his stature 1 cubit? If ye cannot be able to do that thing which is least, why take ye thought for the rest? Consider the lilies, how they grow, they toil not, they spin not, and yet I say unto you that Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. If then Yahweh so clothed the grass, which is today in the field, and tomorrow is cast into the oven, how much more will he clothe you, O ye of little faith? And seek not what ye shall eat or what ye shall drink, neither be doubtful of mind, for all these things do the nations of the world seek after, and your Father knoweth that ye have need. That ye have need of these things, but rather seek ye the kingdom of Yahweh, and all these things shall be added unto you. All right. Right. So the flocks, man, right, the fowls of the earth, right, they eat every day, right? They drink every day. Okay, the so-called beasts, the so-called creeping things of the earth, right? They have places to dwell and lodge and feast, man. Right? The Most High, He provides all of these things for you, man. Right? Even the grass and so-called flowers, these things are clothed with layers. Right? You look at a so-called onion, it has what? It has multiple layers, right? To protect itself, to grow. Right? How much more man? Right? Man, which has dominion over all these said things, man. Proceeding to Sirach, the 18th chapter. Right? A man has dominion right? And understanding over all these things. And the Lord still provides and still gives you, right, what is sufficient for you on a day-to-day, on a low level. How much more in that day of trouble, man? Right? You can't be a low or slackful in faith. Right? You can't forget the mighty and wonderful, marvelous works of the Lord in these last days, man. Okay? So with that, right, brother Atazwan, goodbye, Allah, coming back at you with these precepts. And yet another cold cut, giving, of course, all honor and glory to Yahweh. Right? By Shema Mashak, Wamalak Yahweh Shai Atazadakia. Right? I hope this lesson was very edifying. And until next time, right, Israel continue to stay in the spirit, right? Continue to stay steadfast. It continues to increase in faith. It continues to build up endurance, man. Right? It continue to meditate and remember all of the great, right, and wonderful works that the Most High has performed, right, and is still performing, right, and his works that is written of old that he has established for us in these last days, man. Right? Don't get lukewarm. Don't get faint-hearted, man. Right? Don't let these prophecies discourage you, man. Right? Don't let a war, right, or so-called what man can damn do to you, man. And don't let none of these things faze you or move you, man. Right? Hey, the Lord said to be steadfast and to be unmovable, man. Hey, remember of all these great works, man. Remember of all these prophecies, man. Remember how the Lord has everything, right, lined up, right, and ready to play out, man. Right? And also the great deliverance that the Lord has for his elect, man. Right? Safety, a dominion, right? Spiritual bodies, man. Order, structure, power, okay? Right? Authority of bearing joint heirs, right? Proceeding to Romans the 8th chapter, man. And remember the marvelous works of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. So again with that, my brother Gabar Allah, right? Coming back, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Wamalak Yahweh Shai, I tell the Dakiwa Danya. Right? Hope this lesson was edifying. Right? Continue to stay in the spirit. Kwam Yah Shalom.